Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels, where I'm going to show you how to cook a simple but delicious meal on a butane stove. I do have a little bit of a fancy dancy one today, but I often cook on a single burner, and so can you. But anyhow, let's get started, and I'm going to show you something simple, delicious, and economical too. So come on, let's get going. Today I'm going to make chicken a la king my way, and that is the simple way. So if you're in sticks and bricks or if you're in a house, it will be so easy. I have some chicken here that's cut up. Most people for chicken a la king, they use chicken breast, but I just prefer the taste of chicken thighs. Just it's more flavorful, I think, and more moist. But I have them. What I did is I marinate them for a little while in a Italian seasoning. You can actually make your own Italian dressing, but I just used one that's already ready-made. As I told you, this is a simple recipe. So I use that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some rosemary. I really like, my rosemary's not open. Let me come back to that in a minute. I'm going to add some garlic powder. And those of you who've been with me for a while know I love garlic powder, but you can also use minced garlic. But I'm doing something that is going to be so simple, you don't have to chop up anything for this one, except for a little bell pepper that I'm going to add. Then I have onion powder. I do like to use minced onions, and you can use the dry minced onions and then put them in here because it will create a little bit of a liquid, so it will moisten them up and make them quite nice. Then I'm going to add some Badia seasoning. Oh, I love this Badia complete seasoning. It's just the bomb, as the kids say. Badia seasoning. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of my soul food seasoning. And that's basically it. Now what you want to do after this is cooked for a while and the chicken is done, you want to sample it and just make sure that it's well seasoned. But that's why I like marinating it in the Italian dressing, because it really helps to get those seasonings going and flowing. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn the gas on, probably to about, I'll show you here, about a medium, low to medium. And since the chicken is cut up in such small pieces, it's not going to take that long to cook at all. So why don't you show them how small those pieces are. And that's why I like cutting it up like that. And I'm going to let it cook for a while, then I'm going to mix the chicken all up, or you can do it first, but I'm going to let it cook for a little while. And we'll come back in a few minutes, but first I'm going to show you what else I'm going to be using. Now for the sauce, the a la king sauce, I'm going to be using cream of chicken. I'm going to be using cream of celery. I'm going to also be using some mushrooms. I didn't have any more of those mushrooms I used before, but they were so good, the ones I got at Costco that were in a Parmesan and olive oil sauce, but I loved those. And then I'm going to be using some half and half. Now you can just use regular milk, almond milk, whatever you want. And that's what I'm going to make the sauce with. And then I'm going to add a few bell peppers in there about halfway through. Now, there are a couple things that you can do. You can serve this over rice. You can serve it over cauliflower rice. But I'm just going to cut up some bread, butter it, and I'm just going to grill it kind of lightly in a pan. And that's what I'm going to use to pour this over. But also what you can do is you can make those biscuits, those just 2-ingredient biscuits, the cream and the self-rising flour, make those in a jiff and you can use those. Those are a great base for this. But we're going to let this cook and I'm going to come back and I'll show you and we'll sample our favorite part. We'll be back. Okay, I think we're ready to get going. You know what? Let me show you what the chicken is looking like right now. I added the bell peppers to it. I added some rosemary. And actually, what I also did about halfway in, I put some pats of butter all around. So it's all nice and yummy. And then what I did, as I told you, I tasted a piece of the chicken, and it is absolutely delicious. So what I could do, in fact, can you come over here and let me show them the camera real quick? All this juice, I could take a little bit of that juice out and just pour my mixture into here, but it's not all that deep and I don't want to create a mess, so I'm going to use a second pot. But here's the mixture that I made. This is the cream of chicken, the cream of celery. It has the mushrooms in it, the canned mushrooms. Oh, I already threw the can out. But the canned mushrooms. And what I'm going to add to this is I'm going to add about a cup of cream here. Now, you can add regular milk, or actually I have half and half. You can add regular milk. You can add almond milk. You know, you could even add canned milk if you don't have refrigeration. But I'm just going to add about a cup of milk here. Make that nice and creamy and rich. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to my deeper pot, and then I'm going to mix the chicken in here and let it heat uncovered for about 5 minutes, just enough to get it heated up. I'm not cooking it, the chicken's already cooked, so I'm just heating up the soup and the mushrooms now. Now I did, just so you know, I did season, did I already say that? I don't remember, a senior moment, but I did season, excuse me, season this sauce, because everything that I put in my dish, I want it to be seasoned. I want the meat to be seasoned. I want the sauce to be seasoned. Just because if you only have one of them seasoned, it's not going to give that full body taste that you want. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it this way so you can watch me. I'm going to pour this here into here. And I did use this pot to toast some bread, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, I'm going to add this into here. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my chicken into this mix. Let's put this over here. And this is nice and hot. This is pretty hot, so I'm going to use this. I really need a deeper spoon, but I'm going to do it this way. And it's okay if you get some of this juice in here, because this juice has so much flavor in it. You can really add anything you want here. You can add peppers, you can add, if you wanted, I guess you could add green beans, you can add whatever you want. But this is, and you see all this juice in here. I think I'm going to save this juice in here and put it in a container and save it for when maybe I make some more chicken, or another dish that I want just a little of that chicken flavor, a real kind of homemade broth almost. Okay, I'm going to get this mixed up and we'll be back and I'll show you when it's all mixed up. Well, I think that this chicken a la king is ready to be sampled. This is what I'm going to serve it on. This is just bread that I put some butter in the bottom of the pan and just toasted and grilled on both sides. But as I said, you can use my 2-ingredient biscuits. You can put them over crackers. You can put them over rice. You can put over anything you want. But this is what I'm just going to put them over today. But I want to show you, let's come on in here close and show you what the consistency of this is. It's, oh yeah, it's nice and thick and creamy. And oh, it's going to be delicious. So I'm going to serve it up on this toast, and then we're going to sample it and see how it turned out. Oh, by the way, the last time that I made this, I put some grated Parmesan cheese, and it really just took it to a whole nother level. But today I'm just doing a simple dish. But again, be creative. And some of you are sending me some of the best ideas and even improvements on the recipes that I'm presenting. So I'm going to share some of those down the line. Anyway, let's get going and we're going to sample this. So come on and join me. Well, here comes the part we like best. Oh my goodness. This is so creamy and rich. That is something good. You know what I think I would add? I think I'd add a little bit of thyme to this. That's what I'll do next time, but this is good. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. Ooh, I am going to come back to that in a minute. But thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying with the Glow Show. Excuse me. I am just so blessed and grateful to have you. I'd like to, if you haven't already seen it, this past Tuesday, a few days ago, I had an interview that aired of the most, I don't even know a word to describe her, 72, slept in a car in 4-degree weather on a homestead that she's building out. She's just fierce and tiny and fierce. So do go and check out the video on Oopsie. But meanwhile, we'll be back with another cooking show in 2 weeks, but we'll have this Saturday our live, and we will have another out and about next week. So thank you. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessing, and I will see you next week. Meanwhile, I'm going to finish up this delicious chicken a la king. Bye.